Hey guys, it's Maymay, and today I'm going to show you how to use your Brother Scan and Cut and get this outside cut on the cardstock from any image. Now, I'm using a stamped image from our new stamp set, but you could do this with any image you've got using your Scan and Cut. So let's get started. So first, you want to fussy cut out your shape, which we've already done. Actually, Shannon fussy cut this by hand because she didn't know that I wanted to try this technique. So you can totally do this with a Scan and Cut. You'll see how when we do this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place this on my mat. And one thing I am paying attention to is putting it in the top half of the mat, like making sure I'm above the 6-inch mark, because I'm going to show you how you don't have to scan your whole mat, because sometimes you just don't need all that, you know? All right, so up here on our screen, I'm going to actually change the camera so you can get right up on the screen. So let's transition to that real quick. So I've got my image on my mat, and now what we're going to do is we're going to scan that image into the machine and save it so we can manipulate the image. All right, so what we want to do is we want to tap scan, and then where we're doing it different, if you follow my videos before, I usually play in direct cut. Today we're playing in scan to cut data because we're going to save it in. Okay, now right here is where I told you that we could change our mat, so we don't have to scan in the whole 12 by 12 section. We can just scan in the top portion because that's really all we're working with. So I'm going to say okay to that. And I've chosen the color mode versus the black and white mode because the image we're using has been colored. All right, so we'll say okay. And now I'm going to say start, and it's going to scan that image. And I really love scanning only the top portion of the mat and not the whole mat, because as your mat gets dirty, those images that are those little scratch marks or the dirty marks on your mat are also seen by Scan and Cut. And then you have to kind of tell it, no, ignore all that dirty part, but here we don't have to do it. All right, so I'm going to close my frame in because I'm not looking at anything else on the map except this little guy. And I don't have to be too precise on this one because my mat's brand new, so it's pretty clean. Let me bring that down a little bit just in case. There we go. And say okay. Now what I want to show you is the image is here and it's beautiful. It's just a solid colored image, exactly like what's on the mat. But I don't want to cut every little tiny thing. I just want to cut the outside. So I'm going to use this little bubble right here. This one, you guys are going to want a video on that one later. That one is where you can cut inside and outside. This is what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to tap that one, and you'll see that the image it gives me is now just the outside line, which is what I want. So I'm going to say okay. And now it's going to ask me where to save it. And I'm going to tell it to save it to my Scan and Cut. You could save it to a USB if you wanted, or you could send it wirelessly to the Brother Scan and Cut Canvas program online, but I'm going to do this one, to the machine. And when it saves, it's going to pick the number of images in the machine and just kind of save it with numbers based on how many you've uploaded. I don't love that feature. I would rather be able to change the name so I know what this is later. But considering this is one simple image, I pretty much can look at it and tell what it is, so I'm okay with that. If you don't like that, save them to your USB drive. Okay, so here it is ready to go. So we've done all we need to do here, and now I'm just going to go home because that's all we had to do. All right, now we're going to start a whole new project. Okay, so we've saved that into the system, and we're going to start our card project here. So what I need to do is I need to get that pattern. So I'm going to go to retrieve data because that's where I put it, was in my data, and I saved it on my machine. So I'm just going to tap the machine, and now you can see this is the little cross right down here. So I'm going to tap on that, and when it opens up, you can see our image is right there. Okay, now I'm going to show you something really cool with this project, so hang on. Here's how it goes. What we're going to say is okay to this. And when we get here, I want to edit that image. Now, here's what I mean. You saw on my project, I want to cut this offset die shape that I can nestle my cross into. So here's how you do it. You're going to tap edit, and you're going to do object edit. Okay. And we're going to set this little offset right here. So I'm going to tap on that offset, and I'm going to add distance. Now, for mine, I did it at 12. That's just comfortable for me, so I'm going to put that at 12. And you'll see here, it's giving you two images. You see it's keeping the original and it's adding a second. That's important in just a minute. Okay, so here's my two images. I don't want both images. I just want one. So I'm going to tap on the screen and drag them apart from each other. And this is my center image. So I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to say okay. And then right here, I'm just going to delete it. I don't need it. So I'm going to say bye-bye. This is the one I'm wanting, okay? Now it's time to show you the super cool part. So we're going to click OK. Now, I want to cut this on a card front. I want to cut out this shape, okay? If I use this button right here, I can scan my mat and put this right where I want it. So bear with me and let me make a little change to show you how this works. All right, so on the mat, this is the cross we had earlier. I'm going to remove it from the mat. I don't need it there anymore. And I want to cut it out of this piece. I want the shape we've just edited to come out of here. So I'm going to now place it on the mat. Now here's the thing. I can put it anywhere on the mat I want. I just want to make sure that I'm lining it up straight. So I'm using those little dotted lines right there to make it straight. It does not matter where I put it. And I'm actually putting it in an unusual place because I want you to see this. All right. So now we got to go back to the screen. So on the screen, we're going to choose this image right here. So I'm going to tap that one. What this is going to do is it's going to scan my mat and it's going to show that piece of paper on the mat. So watch this. Now, because I told my scan and cut earlier to only scan 12 by 6, I do have to make sure I put that piece in the 12 by 6 mark just to be safe. Look, y'all, it sees my paper. How cool is that, right? So now I can take this image and I can put it on top of that paper and I can center it. Okay, so now that we're here on this screen, what you do is you tap on the cross to select it. So see how the red box is around it? Now we're going to tap this arrow right here. And it's going to give me all these little arrows to move this around on my page. So first, I'm just going to slide this guy over just like this. And I want this to be kind of at the top of my card, not at the bottom, because I want to put a sentiment. So I'm going to use these little arrows to tap it up like so. And these just barely move it. So you have to tap a pretty good while. And let me tell you something. If you're struggling with seeing it, zoom in. You can use this zoom button, which you can even edit to zoom in tighter if you need to. So I'm just going to go up like so. And then that looks pretty centered to me. I'm not stressing about that. You know, I eyeball everything, so I'm going to say okay. Then I'm going to say okay again. And now we can cut this out of our cardstock. Okay, so now I'm going to say okay. And I'm going to tell it I want to cut this out. So I'll tap on cut. And then I will say start. But I'm going to move you because I want you to see what happens on the machine. So before I click start, I'm going to move the camera. All right, so I'm going to click start. And now Scan and Cut is going to cut that image for me exactly where I want it. And the cool part about it is it's like I had an offset die, but I don't. This machine creates dies for you basically. This saves you money. I know it's an investment, but this is a really cool feature. Now, for some reason, the Scan and Cut, you know, it has an auto alignment blade. It feels like this paper needs to be cut twice, and I'm okay with that because I know I'm getting a good cut, so it's going to cut it twice. It did that for me before, and I'm happy with that. I don't really think this paper is very thick, but if it feels like it needs it, so be it. All right, before I take this off the mat, I want to say this to you. This might have felt like a lot of punching and clicking, but now that we've added that to our machine and we've got it all set, when we come back next time, it's just open that data and work from it. We don't have to do all the scanning part in the beginning. You've saved it into your machine. All right, so we finished cutting. I'm gonna say okay. And now I'm going to unload this. And because that paper has a pretty good hole in the middle, I'm gonna let my spatula help me because this mat is brand new, so it is sticky. They don't stay sticky long. I do have to re-stick them. I use Zig 2-way to re-stick my mats, and I have a video on that. I'll link it for you. Look, y'all. So here's what's so cool. Now we have this, which is hard to tell now, but when we put the card together, you'll be able to see that separation. Isn't that cool? But bonus, you also have this. So this cut out of the middle, and it can also layer on top of your cross as an offset. So you technically could cut 2 crosses and make 2 cards from one cut. Okay, I also want to tell you this. If you want to do this multiple times and you're using your card fronts, you know you have this certain size that you're using, if you'll place it in the top corner of your mat, if you know where you're placing it every time, then you can just reproduce this, just cut, cut, cut. Does that make sense? Now, there are other steps you could take to fill the whole mat with the crosses and all that. We'll get to that another time. But I'm just talking quick, simple, want to make a card or want to make 5 cards, you can do it this way. Okay, so Shannon is going to assemble this card. And the reason is, it was her cross. She colored it, and I felt bad taking it from her. But I'm just going to walk through what she's doing to let you guys know. So she's going to score her card base. This is a 5.5 tall by 8.5 wide. She's going to score it at 4 1/4. And, 4 1/4. Can you see it?
No.
It's dark in here.
Yeah.
Oh, you were right. 4 1/4. And this is thick cardstock. That's why she was taking her time there.
Yeah, right.
Now she's going to fold it into her scoreboard and use that side over there to block it, and then press it down. And that way she gets a better even fold. Now, we talked about this, so I think she's going to do it. She's going to go ahead and open this up and lay it out and do her inside stamping before she puts the card together, just in case. Now, here's the reason. Shannon is a newbie at stamping. Like, I think you haven't stamped a lot, but you stamped more than, what would you call yourself? Newbie or novice or?
Beginner.
Beginner. Okay.
I'm a beginner.
As a beginner, I think it's safer to do your stamping before you put your card together. I would do it at the end, but I'm very comfortable with stamping. So this is probably good for you guys to see how this works. What's she going to put on the inside?
Hallelujah. And let's do shout glory to the risen Savior.
It's so pretty together.
It's so sticky.
Now, you have options here, Shannon. Because
Yo.
you're new at this, I'm going to say this to you. You could put them on a block and stamp them at the same time. And if that's where you want them to lay on the card, that's easy. But if you want them closer, I sometimes would stamp one and then the other.
And then the other one.
Just because sometimes they just don't land just right unless you do them separate. But that's totally up to you.
Let's do it separate. I'm going to do the big one first.
One thing I love about this particular stamp set is all those sentiments can go on the inside or the outside, which we love. She's using VersaFine Onyx Black, for those who are wondering. This is a great newbie ink, by the way. If you're new to stamping, this is a good one because it really does take a lot of the error away. Make sure you move that or he's going to pick up on you. Now we hold our breath.
Yes, don't breathe. Don't breathe.
And one thing I want you to notice that Shannon's doing, she's watched me enough. Let the ink transfer. You don't have to press and lift. You're in no hurry with this. Let it transfer. Make sure you press everywhere. The biggest thing is when you lift up, pull it away. That looks really good. There's a thing on it. It picked something up.
It picked something up.
This is a good, okay, look. It picked up something off my desk.
Yep. That is why you don't line it up on the map.
This is why you stamp before you put it together.
Yep.
Really? Okay, so let me show you a quick fix for this. We're not even going to stress about it. Here's the fix.
We are going to put a piece of paper on the inside. I lined it up on here.
Oh, that was probably it. So here's the quick fix. Now, we've cut that to the right size, so you can just stamp on that and glue it in. It'll be beautiful. Add another layer of color.
Okay, there it is. How clear this time?
Take two. It'll be beautiful. That stuff's going to happen in your craft room. Don't let it derail you.
Move this.
To be honest, I'd probably send it because somebody probably just think it's a design feature. Y'all know me. I'm very not stressed about it. Now, I saw you move that off to one side. Is that a design feature you're planning?
Yeah, just figured since I was going to do Hallelujah, I'd kind of offset it a little. I don't know.
I like when Shannon's creating in the craft room because she does things so different from me, and I learn from that. Because I'm, center, square. All right. Oh, sorry, I hid that one from you.
Oh, that's cool. This time I'm not going to put it on that side.
Oh, pretty. Look see how it nestles? But if you put them on the block together, you can't nestle it that tight. But doing them separate, you can. And I'm not going to fuss at Shannon about her head in the camera. Y'all just know what she's doing. She doesn't film. This is not.
No.
It's very hard to do what you're doing, isn't it?
It
to
is.
Stamp without putting your head over it.
Yeah.
I've learned in 10 years of video making how to do it.
I haven't.
You'll get there. But you haven't covered it up with your head at all so far.
Well, y'all are lucky. Today was a hair wash day, so it's nice and fluffy.
Seeing dry shampoo roots.
No.
Mine is not a hair wash. Mine's a second day. It's TMI for our viewers, I suppose.
Yeah, it's a good hair day.
That's beautiful together,
looks like
Shannon.
one.
That's really well stamped. Hold that up to the camera so they can see how good that looks. You did a great job on that.
Right here.
Look at that. So proud.
The good, the bad.
I'm going to close it. I was nervous. I closed it because I was like, we're not going to mess this white base
now
up.
we're going to glue this pretty thing in.
So see, there's always a workaround, always a fix.
Ooh,
I forgot to tell you.
You got the big tip
I changed the nib. I'm sorry. You might
That's
better
cool.
smear. Here, I'll smear it since I messed it up. I changed the nib when I was doing the dots on the scrapbook page, so I wouldn't have to. That was me. I'm sorry.
That's cool. I'm a big gluer anyways.
She does like glue, y'all.
I like glue.
All of y'all are watching how much glue she put down and went, oh, Shannon likes glue.
Yes, I do.
All right, so she's going to rub that into place and her inside is done.
Woohoo!
It's beautiful on the inside too.
Thanks.
All right, and now she can crease that down again and work on the front. Now this part is what I'm so excited to see this card finished because I think it's going to be gorgeous. That's another thing. I do that a lot of times. I do that a lot of times.
That way it don't bow up on me.
All right. She is going to take that background piece we cut, that die piece, and she's going to pop that up on foam. And the reason for this is we want to play with dimension here. We want the cross piece to nestle inside and kind of have some shadow to it, but she's going to pop this up to give it that dimension. So many of you guys say to me, how do I make my cards look professional? I think dimension is one of the ways. I think when you glue directly down to the page, it's beautiful, but when you give it that dimension, it really looks like this doesn't look handmade anymore. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
And I've seen it. Now, I've seen people do incredible one-layer cards. I'm not going to say don't do one-layer cards, but this is one way to get a very professional look.
The sides don't cave.
There's some little ones if you want them. If you don't, it's fine.
Yeah, I think we're good. Oh, kind of got to peel it first.
Got to do the peely part. Okay, so now Shannon's going to center that in the front section of the card. We don't do perfect, Shannon.
We do.
We do pretty close. We do pretty close. Look how beautiful. This is going to be so pretty. Okay, now for the cross, we're not going to pop it up. You totally could pop it up, but the beauty of it is sinking it in to the card. I think that'll be so pretty. You could have used a different color card base. We tried a couple of colors, and the white just really kept it that soft, kind of glowy look.
Yeah, made it glow.
Yeah, we really wanted to use black. I know y'all think we're crazy to use black a lot, but we wanted to use black, but it just made it a little too harsh. And so we went with the white card base. You could even put a different color underneath and still have a white card base. It would be beautiful either way. Look how pretty this card's going to be. I'm excited for you. Who are you giving it to?
I might send it to my grandma.
Oh, that's a perfect card for your grandma. Oh, look at Shannon. What's that called? Oh, burnishing.
Burnish.
The older I get, the more words elude me.
Words don't work anymore.
What are words? That's so pretty. And she has a little sentiment that she's already made. She cut out just a strip and did a little ribbon tail there. And now this one we're just going to glue directly to the page. But one thing that I think would be really neat is moving it up so you have a little yellow underneath. And it's fine that it overlaps the cross. You know what the cross is doing. And it's dimensional, so you still can see under there. So she's just going to put this down on there. I'm going to get the fine tip for you.
What are you talking about?
You're doing good. It looks like she's putting a lot more glue on than she is because she's scrubbing it. And I know on camera it looks like so much glue.
Looks like I'm a glue hog, but it's
not. Look how pretty your card is. I love it. And I got to tell something. This feature on the Scan and Cut changes everything because it's not just with my stamp sets. Notice that I didn't upload an SVG.
So pretty.
You could have done this with the SVG file, but I did this by just scanning an image. So any image you have, you can do this with. Shannon, thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Let's see the inside. You know I got to see the inside. Oh, it's gorgeous with the yellow.
It is.
Your grandma's going to love this.
She will.
All right, guys, if you try this with your Scan and Cut, I want to see what you've done. You have two places to share with me. You can share it with me on my customer gallery at maymaymadeit.com or on our Discord. You guys need to come join our Discord. It's super fun over there. It's a good place to meet new crafters and chat and have a good time. And don't forget to subscribe. We are on the way to 300,000, and I've got a big giveaway planned, and hopefully I'll be announcing that really soon. But I'm really excited about that, so make sure you click the subscribe button so we can get to 300,000. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. Till next time. Bye now.
Bye, y'all.